So, Paul, we've had the vote at your assembly and the vote at our General Council, and so now we can move forward to making this full communion agreement real.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of your reflections as we move into that?
So, first of all, I really like to see this from ecumenical perspective.
Mm-hmm.
As we know, the both churches have dedicated to ecumenical movement for decades, and then this is definitely ecumenical effort to seek unity in God's church. And then I really believe that this kind of a covenantal relationship is a great way to be a one church in our context, and then also this will have a great influence on the ecumenical community here in North America. So I think that there is a first thing is the positive impact on our ecumenical movement, considering what is going on with our current cultural, social, and economic context.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think the more ways we can find to work together that both acknowledge the diversity among us,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore we don't see our way forward necessarily into organic union, but that it is a unity to
Right.
work together in ways that deepen relationships. And I think what is exciting for me is that we can deepen those relationships at every level of the church.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about a national office to a national office or a
Right.
bi-national
Yeah.
office working together.
Right.
It also involves the possibilities
Mm-hmm.
of people working together and being encouraged more to work together in congregations locally.
Right.
And our regions working together,
Mm-hmm.
both within Canada, both the Canadian region and the rest of Canada, and across the border
Sure.
between regions. So I think there's some real possibilities.
Absolutely.
And that for me is
Yeah.
is the lively ecumenism that I think takes place most often at the local level. And this is a way of living it out.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't agree more with you. And also, I really hope that whenever a certain community really face the challenges, either United Church of Canada or the disciples, locally, reach out to each other first when they really like to address the issue within their own community.
Yeah.
So it's not just church matters, but also the community matters and social matters. We can work really together to bring a good consciousness to the community.
I think that's true. I think we talk about 5 pillars of full communion,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the ones that we talk about is mission and finding new ways of being in mission together.
Right.
And I think that can happen locally. I also think we've got some exciting possibilities of how that might happen nationally.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I think about is the conversation that took place this morning around welcoming refugees.
Mm-hmm.
And I think both in Canada and the US, there are issues calling out to us
Right.
around how we welcome and support refugees and asylum seekers. And I think we can find ways to support each other across the border and across the 2 denominations in how we do that. It's just one example of the ways that might involve local congregations in that kind of welcoming work, as well as our national churches in the advocacy work we do that's part of that. So I think there are some real possibilities for deepening our mission.
Absolutely. And then I'm also excited about the possibility that the disciples ministry can serve the United Church congregations, and also United Church of Canada pastors also serve the disciples congregations. I think that they'll really enrich our liturgy and our worship style, and then also they'll really bring awareness about the cultural difference between the Canadians and then also people here in the United States. This is my confession moment, but many times someone who lives in the United States as a citizen, we don't really pay attention to what is going on in Canada. I think that's not right. Now we have a great partner. Of course, we have disciple churches in Canada, but now with them and with you, hopefully we can really pay attention to what is going on in Canada and pray for you also.
Yeah, I think that'll be important, and I think that opportunity for mutually recognizing each other's ministries will mean that people are able to support each other and be part of a congregation for a while and come back and bring the stories and the gifts and the learnings from that congregation they were part of back to their own context, so that there's that possibility for exchange without the need to totally transfer your membership or your ministry into the other denomination. So I think given the amount of flow back and forth that there is, both across our border and across the two denominations in Canada, I think there are some real possibilities for enriching and ministries, and in smaller communities, I think it does mean more ability to support the ministries in creative joint kinds of ministries in those smaller communities. So I think there's a lot of possibilities around that. I know that we have next steps to take in terms of having the processes created for people's standing to be recognized, and that'll be the one of the important next steps that we move into as this agreement comes to completion once we've celebrated it in October.
Absolutely. So I mean, also as an immigrant, I think it is also important for us to connect immigrant communities together. So Asian and Pacific Islander community within the disciples can reach out to Asian Pacific Islander community in the United Church of Canada, and also Hispanic members can do that too. We have also some Haitian members. They can reach out to people in United Church of Canada and connect to each other and support each other. I think that's another possibility. And also African Americans and African Canadians can connect to each other. I think there is that possibility too.